Hello everybody, this is going to be the last Sauercrowd recap since the event officially ended yesterday. Yesterday we did a final Onyxia raid and the event is now officially over. A huge shout out to Sauercrowd for making this whole thing happen, to Papa Platte, Metashi and Hand of Blood who organized it all, and who else, all of the other people who were involved who were just amazing, and the community who was watching the whole thing, and to the German people, of course, the German streamers and the German community who accepted me as this like outsider person that just came into the German community. A huge thank you to everybody. This was an amazing event. I had time of my life, honestly. I didn't have so much fun playing video games in such a long time, and it was amazing. I'm sad it's over, but also like happy it happened. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next event whenever it's gonna come along, and I'm also gonna, of course, do new projects now, but more to that later. Let's go to the recap, to the last couple of things that had happened, starting from like the last recap that I did. So one of the worst things happened. Maxime died at level 55. It was incredibly sad. He died to one of those ghouls that did like a lot of fire damage, and he was scared, and he messed up his macro with a loon, or at least his Hearthstone didn't work, and he ended up dying, which is very sad because we all wanted to see Maxime tank Molten core, and that unfortunately didn't happen. He ended up not leveling again because it would have taken him way too much time. Then Illimon died with level 60. It was also a horrible death. She died because they were resetting a pool in UBRS, and as they were jumping down and running away, the mobs hit her through the floor, basically, which, obviously was just unfortunate because she didn't expect it. Then we had a bunch of other, like, high-level deaths. Twisted died at 56, Zero died at 57, Scooey died at 55. Then Kimi died at level 60 in my group, and it was honestly my fault. And I'm so sad about it because... And what happened was that we did Rammstein, and that boss has like a stun on a tank and an aggro reset. And I, for some reason, didn't remember this, even though I had watched like a million guides. And I did the dungeon once with Miras as a tank to make sure that I'm like prepared for the dungeon. And somehow I like completely forgot about this. And we pulled the boss without me explaining this and without me like remembering it as well. And then all of a sudden the boss had the aggro reset on me and turned around and basically almost one-shot her, but like 2 hits and she was basically dead. And I was just not ready. Like, I could have bopped her, I could have put a target dummy, I could have stunned the boss later. Like, there's a bunch of things I could have done, but we ended up just like not knowing. I forgot, and nobody else kind of knew or mentioned it, and then we died because of it, or she died because of it, and it's horrible. But she took it like a champion, and a huge shout out to her. She's such a trooper that she like just handled it so well, and yeah, I can't believe that happened. I'm really, really sorry for her, but I'm glad she just, was a champ about it. Banana Bill died with level 60, which is also heartbreaking. And Fanasia died with level 60 as well in a dungeon. Tolkien then also died at level 60 while doing some farm in Silitus. Tolkien, everyone thought he would be in the raid, but then he didn't have time when the raid was set up to be. And so he wanted to join the second raid, but he ended up dying before, so he couldn't do Molten Core at all, which was really sad because he played League for the first time and managed to get level 60, even though nobody believed that the League players would do well. Then Little Luxy died with level 53. Vasily and Jan Hegenberg died in UBRS. Vasily was kiting the last boss, and Jan Hegenberg got a conflag from the boss, which is like a thing that usually only the tank gets, where you're disoriented and you take a lot of fire damage, and nobody really was expecting this, and he ended up dying, and Vasily ended up dying because he was cutting the boss for the first time, and he didn't realize that the boss came back for him after his initial first ice block, so he ended up dying as well. Then Schulzev died with level 60, and Neandi died with level 60, and Blaze died with 57. Then we also had a huge wipe in Strat where Julie Jones, Kiva, and KDR Kitten died, unfortunately. That was heartbreaking because Julie Jones has helped out so many people, and he had helped out me as well, and he was one of those Protpala tank supporters. But yeah, unfortunately, they ended up pulling too much with like a pet or something, and then they ended up panicking, and they just ran out. Julie Jones didn't have a a loon or anything to help himself. So he ended up tanking. He knew he was gonna die, and he ended up tanking everything to make sure everyone else gets out. But Kiba died pretty quickly first to aggro when Julie Jones had to bubble because he would have died otherwise. And then KDR Kitten did Petri Alta 4, but ended up not working, even though she pressed it within the first 3 seconds of the Petri, which is very unfortunate. Like, that just really sucks, because usually that should work. Anyway, then a bunch of level 60s happens. I myself got level 60 and did a lava run to get level 60, which was really fun. I personally had like the highest pulls ever to do it. It was crazy. I somehow like convinced, like I had the idea while I was streaming, and then I was like, wait, I should do this. I should actually do this. And then once I said it, I just had to like commit, because I'm not somebody who like content baits, you know? Like, I'm not somebody who says something to bait people to like join and like watch, and then I'm not doing it. So I had to kind of commit, even though I kind of didn't want to do it anymore. So I ended up doing that. Then Meluna got level 60 as well, and was actually in the main raid too. And Gucci and Lost Kitten got to 60. They were a dream team, those two. And yes. Then let's go through the Molten Core run. So we had a town hall meeting as well, where member of the week was Han, because Han organized so many like dungeon runs for the level 60s, which was amazing. Even when he wasn't joining and he was working, he would organize runs for the others, which was just absolutely incrediable. So Han is the member of the week. Gold Goblin also got an honorable mention because he was managing all the guild banks. Like, he asked me to help. He offered to help, and he just like ended up having like 10 bank characters, and everyone sent the stuff to him. It was crazy. So huge shout out to Gold Goblin for helping out there. There was a bunch of like raid stuff that we prepared for Molten Core. We ended up like the roster was posted and announced. A lot of people were kind of like upset about the roster and stuff, but you know, there's so many level 80s that wanted to join. I think no matter what would have happened, somebody would have always been upset. So I personally think they did a great job. It was fine. Then the raid lead was Hand of Blood and Falcon. Falcon, of course, a very experienced person, and Hand of Blood himself too. So they ended up doing a very, very, very good job. It was crazy how well it was all planned. We had over 100 members that reached level 60. And yeah, I was announced too as being part of the main raid. But as a healer, I did not expect this, because I was kind of committed to my tank role, right? So I wasn't sure if I'm going to be in a raid, because I know that they're like really against Proud Paladin, and that's why I was thinking they would just not take me in the raid at all. But then they announced me in the raid and just kind of like said that I'm going to heal, even though I had no healing gear and nothing. So I was like really surprised by this. I had to farm healing gear within a week and learn how to heal and stuff within a week for the raid, which ended up being fine. I didn't have like perfect gear, but it ended up doing an okay job, I think. I ended up just, you know, healing the tank, spamming Flash of Light. It's not that complicated. So then when the Molten Core raid happened, so everyone was like really nervous, and it was honestly, it was the coolest event ever. We had so many people like waiting for us at the Black Rock as we were walking in, and it was all a little bit chaotic for sure too. But we walked in with 40 people. We had open mics on Discord, and everyone still somehow managed to listen to Falgan and the raid leading. And it was honestly one of the greatest experiences ever. Even though people that were watching said, "Oh, it's boring because, you know, bosses died really fast and stuff," but we were prepared, right? But we had world buffs because a lot of people didn't have like great gear either. But some people did have nice gear and did have all of these like buffs and potions and stuff that we ended up organizing. Huge shout out to Dalocard as well, who like helped organize all of these mats. And yeah, some people ended up saying that it's kind of boring, but I honestly don't think so at all. It was so much fun, like going in there. I felt like I'm back in like 2005 or whatever, and I felt like this like the first time I'm doing Molten Core again, and it was so cool. Like, I honestly loved every minute, even though the bosses did die fast. Yes, I was one of those people who advocated for like less buffs and less consumables to make sure that we see more of the mechanics of the boss. But I totally understand why we kind of didn't want to do that, just because like the thing is, Molten Core is not meant to be played in hardcore. You know, like the bosses back then were designed in some way to like kind of like just randomly like kill people, you know, because there's 40 people and you can kill the bosses with less than 40. So some of the mechanics from the bosses, they literally just like where, oh, I'm just gonna like randomly go there and like kill people as a boss, you know, just because, yeah, the designers, I guess the boss designers back in vanilla, they were thinking, you know what, we're just gonna like kill some of the people in the raid to make it harder by just reducing the raid size, by reducing the members. So yeah, a lot of these mechanics kind of had to be skipped if we didn't want to like lose people randomly without them being able to do much about it or to like use lots of potions against it. So I personally think that it was fine the way it went down, and I'm so proud of us not having a single death. We went through Molten Core and not a single death happened. And then there was a secondary raid that was organized by the members themselves, mainly by Sirenia, Mauki, and Laranas. And they did the raid on the next day, and I was doing a watch party as well. I'm so proud of them too. They ended up clearing everything without any deaths as well. So we had 2 full Molten Core runs without any deaths, which is honestly such a big achievement, when initially people were thinking that we wouldn't even get level 40 level 60s, we wouldn't even be able to do Molten Core at all, we would die to Ganon, we would die to everything. People were like just doubting this project the whole time, and we ended up pulling all the way through. This event went on for like more than 2 months, and we ended up still having 2 Molten Core raids full of people that were still committed and still playing. So I think this was the biggest success ever, and I'm happy the way it went down. One thing I did want to mention to all of these doubters that said that the raid ended up being boring. One thing that you have to consider is, don't you think it's cool that we ended up playing safe and organized when we could have just as well played for content? Because in the end, we're all content creators, right? And if people would have died, we would have had more views in the end, right? Because people that are watching, they want some people to die for the drama and for the content, right? So if this whole project would have been mainly, like, if the main purpose of the project for the organizers would have been just content, then they would have maybe even forcefully tried to, like, play with less buffs and force more like mechanics, so we see more deaths to make it more clickbaity and like farming clips and like content, blah blah blah. But they didn't, which to me means that they really cared about this event, and they really cared about the people that participated, and they wanted to prepare to make sure that the least people die as possible, and then we can get this done and kill Ragnaros with like a proper like finish of this project and getting everyone through with their characters alive, which I personally think is very honorable, considering that it's, you know, again, it's like all streamers, and it's a lot of streamers are like obviously like having more content. So I think it's a cool thing that they ended up not going for like the full content thing initially, and just ended up doing just Molten Core run very cleanly. Huge shout out to Hand of Blood as well, who in my opinion just I have such a good opinion of him now. Like, I never really knew something about him before, since I wasn't in the German like community space. But my impression of him is so good. Like, he's such a big streamer, and he's still in this event. He put so much effort into organizing it, like answered people personally. Like, I felt like he read every single message in the Discord and like answered and gave feedback, and even answered like the dumbest questions in my opinion, and put so much time and effort in, and like he cared so much about this event. And he also organized, on top of all of this, he played also himself level to 60 and get everything organized. And then he like organized like a singer to come to the event to sing like one of the iconic songs, Ayo, in the Sauercrowd finale in the Molten Core. He got cheerleaders, he got Bröki to like get him the envelopes to announce like the players for the raid. And like the amount of things he organized was just crazy to me, and I am hugely impressed by him and how he organized the whole event, with of course Mitashi and Papa Platte as well. But yeah, this is just it's just one shout out for me. One more thing that happened is we ended up doing one more Onyxia raid, which was the last raid announced, and they said they will close the event afterwards. So the event is now officially over. The Onyxia raid happened yesterday, and we had 40 people. I was there too, and they let me tank, which is crazy. I was so happy. They ended up announcing that I was gonna be the main tank. Even Metashi said it was okay. It was Hand of Blood's idea, and he asked me, and he just kind of said if everyone's okay with it, and people agreed. Onyxia is a boss that can't be taunted anyway, so it made sense for me to be like a tank. And honestly, it was like a dream come true for me, because I wanted to. I never tanked anything in vanilla. And I obviously know that Proud Paladin is not one of those tanks that has like a good reputation because of the missing taunt. So when they said I was allowed to tank, I was just so happy. And when I just like ran in, like there was a countdown, and I ran in, and this huge boss, this dragon, was like, I was the one tanking her, and it was crazy. I really, really loved it. Onyxia was also without any deaths, which is great that we managed to do that boss too. It was a lot more chaotic than our Molten core raid, but we still managed to not have any deaths, which is so cool. And I'm so happy that we ended up doing this, and that I ended up being able to tank the boss a little bit there as well. I didn't end up getting aggro in the last phase. I was like second in aggro, so if the first tank would have like, you know, lost aggro or something, I would have been there. But yeah, I didn't expect the flying phase to be so short, so I didn't build aggro while she was in the air. And I think I also got a fireball in the air phase, which resets the aggro. I should have bubbled it, but I didn't realize that it was on me, because, you know, it was like chaotic, and I was nervous. But yeah, I'm really proud that I managed to tank Onyxia as a paladin, and I kept the aggro in phase 1, which is really cool. All right, so since like that's the end of the event, there was some drama and some people being mad on Reddit or whatever, but fuck those people. This event was amazing, and I'm so happy, and everyone involved, I think, has the same opinion about it. So I'm so looking forward to a second event. I think they said they'll plan something like it, obviously not like in the near future, so it's still gonna be like some time for this to happen again, but I'm so looking forward to that, and I'm definitely gonna be joining again if I'm allowed to. And yeah, that's it. I did also want to say, this is for this YouTube channel, this is going to be the last English video for now. If you don't know about me switching to German content, then look at the video that is titled Decision, or A Big Decision. But yeah, so the future videos that I'm making here are going to be in German mostly. I already missed some of my English-speaking community in Twitch chat, but some people are still hanging out in the Discord, in the English channel. Some people are still watching my stream with the subtitles. I have translating subtitles that people can turn on, and yeah, I'm just so glad that you guys supported me this whole time. And I hope you enjoyed the English recaps for the Sauercrowd event. And yeah, huge shout out to German community, of course, for accepting me. And now I'm gonna switch to German videos, and I will be uploading more videos about Midnight. I already started a new project called Alles ist gut. There's a video about that as well on my YouTube channel already. And now I'm probably gonna do some guides and stuff for Midnight, and then we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and have an amazing life. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Bye.